everybody, once again, it's Stephen Pesadelo Hall with Competition Tips for Beginners. That being said, what I'm going to talk about today is more my own strategies when I've been most successful in competition. What have I done? What was my thought process and that type of thing. First, I want to stress that knowing the rules, knowing what the organization and the referees expect from you is very, very important. So please read your rules no matter what happens. Go to the rules meeting, ask the referees questions before you even step on the mat. Make sure that you know what's expected of you so that you can play to those rules the best that you can. Now, that being said, my own personal philosophy has been to come to a tournament to look to submit. Submitting is the essence of what Jiu-Jitsu is about. And if you're always seeking the submission, then you should always be in a proper position. That being said, one of the biggest things that I've been able to do to be successful is how to relax myself and put myself in a state of optimal performance. The night before, I do nothing that has to do with Jiu-Jitsu at all. I'll go watch an inspiring movie. I'll make sure I eat a good meal, especially if I'm on weight. That's something that I also believe in very heavily. If I'm going to cut any weight, I should be at weight a couple days to a week before so I can be used to what's going on. I see way too many people going to cut weight. They cut weight the night before, and the next day their competition suffers for it. Their performance suffers for it. So the thing I want you to do is to make sure that you have no worries. Have someone drive you to the competition. Don't drive yourself. Don't get caught up in traffic. Those type of things keeps the worry off of what happens, because everything at the tournament are the things that you can't actually prepare for. On the mat, there are no aliens. There's no superhumans. It's just you and your opponent. So when you come, the jiu-jitsu that you do in your gym at home to prepare is the jiu-jitsu you should do on the mat when you get there for competition. Now, once you're there, normally I try to make sure that I know what time I'm going to be competing, and when I know that, I take about an hour and a half, I get dressed and get ready, and I start getting warm. Once I'm warm, I take a good stretch, and I leave myself about 30 minutes before the time I'm supposed to be called up to make sure that I'm broken my sweat and I'm actually focused on what's going on. That last 30 minutes before it's time for me to go is the time that I focus in on visualizing what I want to do. Within a match, there are always things that you would like to do to play towards your strengths, and you can only worry about yourself. You can't control what your partner's going to do. You can't control what the referee's going to do. The crowd has no effect on you, no matter whether they yell and scream against you, for you, or anything. The only thing that can help you is you. So focusing on what you're going to do and implementing and imposing your game is the thing that you're supposed to be able to focus on, and it's what's helped me. The thing about imposing your game is sometimes your strength plays directly into your opponent's strength. So preparing for the worst case in your competition in your gym by having the worst case scenario where somebody's fresh on top of you, you're down by 10 points, and you have to get up and do a submission on this person somehow. Those are the things you prepare for at home. Lastly, in this particular segment, the biggest thing is people get into a rush. And what I mean by that is they're passing guard, they want to go right to the belly, right all the way to mount. So they miss points, and then a lot of times they missed all the points that they could have gotten if they had just settled into side control and then went to mount, or if they went directly to mount and solidified the position because they were too anxious to get somewhere else. Everything comes in a progression. You get a good connection to your opponent, you're going to take them down, you pass their guard, go to mount and back mount and finish. You don't always want to try to strain to hold someone down, but you want to always improve your position. Now, that being said, once you improve your position, and let's say you have a submission locked in place, a lot of people let submissions go because they think they can get something else. Now, if the opponent actively defends and he eliminates your submission, then you move on. That being said, when you have a submission and you have it close or even 3/4 of the way, you owe it to yourself to chase that submission. You may not ever get that opportunity again. Lastly, I just want you to understand that competition is a good way for you to judge where the holes in your game are. Wherever those holes are, competition will bring it out. And what you do is you take those holes back to your gym, work with your coach, work within the rules to actually plug those holes up and then make a better time at your competition the next time. Hopefully some of these tips helped. Those are the things that I mainly focus on when getting ready for a competition, and that's helped me to several world titles and several Pan Am, European, and Brazilian national titles. The biggest thing that it's done is helped my jiu-jitsu grow so that I can be more well-rounded. And hopefully that's what these things will do for you. Again, I'm Stephen Pesadelo Hall, first degree black belt under Alianza, and these are competition tips for beginners. Thank you.